Welcome everyone, it's Neil here from 3D Tudor, back today with another exciting geometry node, and this time it's going to save you a lot of work creating islands or creating terrain even. So before jumping into it, if you want to get this for free along with all of our other nodes, then check out our Patreon, the links are down below, and I will put an advert right at the end just so it doesn't interfere with me showing you this node. Alright, so the first thing is that you should know is this geometry node comes in two parts. So if you want to have the actual terrain geometry node, that's going to be a separate part from the Meadow geometry node. So if you want both parts, there will be a link down below to get both parts, or just get one or the other, completely up to you. Alright, so the first thing then we're going to do, as you can see, this is in real time. This is in Blender cycles, and you can see it's really easy, really nicely set up, and it's pretty low on performance and optimization, so you can see you can run this in real time. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this onto object mode just to make it a little bit easier for me to show you. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, well, first of all, I'm going to show you right from scratch. So right from scratch, let's set the cursor to selected, and then what I'm going to do is just delete this cube. You can see I've got one that says tutorial. I'm just going to press Shift A and bring in a cube. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Shift A, I'm going to bring in a plane. And the reason I'm bringing in that plane is I want to actually start, sculpting something on my plane with this terrain. The next thing I want to do is I want to bring in a couple of curves. So if I press Shift A, I'm going to bring in a curve. So I'm going to bring in one curve, like so. This will be my terrain. I'm going to bring in another curve, like so. And this one then will be my river. So let's rename them. I recommend you do this once you actually bring this in. So let's call this one river. Let's call this one terrain. And let's call this node. All right, so let's now apply the actual node to our cube. So I'm going to come over here, geometry node, click the little down arrow. Of course, when you bring this in, you'll probably only have, island generator and the meadow, or you'll just have the island generator, depending on which download pack you got. So let's click on the island generator. All right, so you've got a few options here. You can see we've got river, we've got stone. So the river is, which curve is the river? So we want to click on here, and we want to click on our river, like so. And then what we want to do is we want to click on our stone. And then all I'm going to do is click onto my terrain, which is this one here. And there we go. All right, so now what we can do is we can actually come in and delete these things out of the way. So how do we do that? First of all, I'm going to come to my river. I'm going to press the tab button. And all I'm going to do then is press delete and delete all the vertices. Now, because we did it that way, so because we went into edit mode, you can see now that the river is still there. We're going to do the same now with our terrain. So I'm going to press tab, come to my terrain, press the tab button, and just delete these out the way like so. Now let's start with our terrain. So what I've got here is my curve still. I've got this button here, which I'm going to press, which says draw. And then all you can do, you can come in actually, make sure surface is on, and then you can just draw on anything like so. Now, if you come in and you put it onto cycles, so the render button, you will see now this is what you've actually got. And from here now, you can actually come in and draw on however you like. So we're just going to do a quick actual terrain. And you can see that it goes mainly on top of this actual plane that we've drawn out where we're going to put all this. All right, so next of all, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this plane out the way now. I don't need that. And you can see again, I've got this in real time. And you can see just how easy it is on the optimization part of it. Now let's come back then to our node. So I'm going to come to my node. And then what I'm going to do now is go through a few of these options. Now we've got this on here before bringing my river in. So the first thing you'll see is we don't want to alter these river ones because we haven't brought a river in. What we want to alter first is this stone. So you can see here, I can actually bring this stone down and bring down the actual thickness of the actual terrain or stone or whatever you want to call it. You can also turn up the subdivisions if you want. So you can turn those up like so. And you'll see now it's, let's put it on there. You can see now it's a little bit better on there. So I'm going to drop my subdivisions down back to 1, and the other button we've got here, which is quite useful, if you're having problems, getting this working, what you can do is you can also put it on low resolution, and it's just going to make it a little bit more like a blob, very low resolution, and much easier for you to work with if you want to. Let's turn that off though, because I haven't got that problem. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it back onto cycles, and now you'll be able to see what we're going to do next. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to turn up the scale to something like 20. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this blend now. I'm going to also show you that you can actually change the textures on the fly if you want to. So let's come in and change the grass blend. We'll change the limit first. We'll put it on something like 70. And the moment I bring that down, now you can see that now we've got a lot of dirt here and less grass on top of it. The next thing I want to do then is change the dirt angle. So if I put this on something like 90, something like that, you'll see now we start getting all that rock through. Let's turn it up to something like 120. And now we've got a nice blend actually between them. And if I come over this side, you can see now with the sun shining on it that I can actually change as well the actual blend of it. So if I bring this down, I can have more rock, for instance. I can bring back my grass blend as well. So let's bring that up. And you can see we can really start to blend these in. Now, it's important to know that you can also, like I said, bring in your own textures, which then makes it incredibly valuable depending on what you want to create, because you can get that certain look. So how do we do that? Let's drop in first of all then and show you how we do that. If we come over to the shading panel, you will see the moment this pops up that all of everything is laid out really nicely for you. So let's just put this on to our grass and mud. So if I scroll down, I've got one that says grass, mud and stone, and I've even highlighted it for you. So you can see it just says new textures. All you need to do to change your textures or change your grass, your mud or your stone is just come to this, press the tab button and then replace these. So for instance, you can see here, this is the base color. Just click the X, replace it whichever one you want, replace the metallic, the roughness and the normal as well. You can see here we've also got our height in there and a normal map. If you haven't got a height map, don't worry about it. Just plug in another normal map and that then will work, or just plug in a normal map. So it's completely up to you. To come out of this then, all you need to do is just press tab button again and then that'll get you out of it. Alright, so let's move on then to the other exciting stuff. Let's build a little bit more in here because we've got a few holes in here, and then what we'll do is we'll bring in our river. So again, I'm going to go over to my terrain, I'm going to press the tab button, and then I'm just going to build a little bit more on top of here, like so. Get it to the shape that I want it. I'm also wanting an island, so all I'm going to do is just pop an island on the bottom like so, and you can see now it's looking a little bit better than where it was. Alright, so from here then, let's bring in our river now. So I'm going to press tab, I'm going to go over to my river, and what I'm going to do first of all is just go over the top. I'm going to press the tab button then, and again I'm going to come to my draw. So again, it's a curve, it's on draw, and then all I'm going to do is draw it in. Now remember, when I bring my river in, it's not going to be the right size, so we need to control that. So let's now press tab, go back over to our node, and then what I'm going to do now is fix this river and drop it down to where I want it. So the first thing I'm going to do is mess around with the width. Let's put the width on 1, and you can see all this again is done in real time. Let's drop the river level down to 1, and there we go, we're nearly there now. And then what I'm going to do is just drop this down a little bit more, and you will be able to see it drops right in to that terrain like so. Really easy to do, and you can see just how nice that actually looks. Now the other thing about this river is that we can come in, and what we can do is we can also control the drop off on the end, so how much bending it actually has. And the other good thing about the river is if you come into it, you can also come in and grab the actual ends. So grab these ends of these handles, and then you can actually pull it back to where you actually want it, and the terrain will actually bend around the actual river, so you're free to do that as well. If you make a mess on your terrain, you can actually come in, grab your terrain here, press the tab button, and what I tend to do is I'll just use the C button. I'll come in, grab a load of these points here, right click, and then just press delete and vertices, and it'll get rid of it for you. Now we've got our river in, let's bring in another river, and then what we'll do is we'll build around there. So I'm going to go over the top again, I'm going to go to my river, now I've got it the right size, and then what I'm going to do is press tab, so river, tab, draw it in, oops, let's draw it in with this button here, draw it over the top going to this side, and there you go, there's the second river in place now, like so. And you notice it goes over the top of this one as well. Now let's say I want to build around this river. Can I actually do that? Yes, I can. I'm just going to go back to my terrain, and then all I'm going to do now is actually draw on. And you'll notice wherever I put these, they do actually bend around the river. You can see it actually bends around the river like so, giving you these incredible like look of this terrain. You can see I can build over the top of it, and everything gets bent around there. As soon as I bring my river up or down, you'll see it will cut into the terrain. So what I tend to do is now I'll actually come around and build on these parts going around my river like so, like so, like so. And you can see just how easy it is to get this kind of result. All right, so once you've got your terrain, this is a pretty big terrain, just to show you how it works. But you can see, even though it is a large terrain, we're still rendering this out in real time in Blender Cycles. Now what we're going to do is, I'm going to show you now the meadow. So let's go to the meadow. And the way we're going to do that, once you're happy with your terrain, let's grab our terrain. We'll come over to object and we're just going to convert to mesh. And you'll see when now I press tab, all of it is being converted into mesh. You can also see that the amount of subdivisions on here for a terrain is actually pretty low. Now, of course, you can go in and decimate that if you want to, but we're not going to bother with that. All we're going to do is just split up our river for now. So I'm going to press L. That then will grab all of that river. Press L on this one. Press P, selection, and split them off. Now, to make this a little bit cleaner as well, what I suggest you do is once you've got your terrain, is just hide it out of the way and delete all of these. So delete all of these curves. You're not going to need them anymore. Delete all of these curves. You're not going to need them anymore. Press Alt-H and bring everything back. Now, to bring your meadow in, I do recommend, first of all, you can see over here, I've already got my meadow on here. You can see as well with the meadow, at the moment, the viewport rendering is 3000 and the viewport density is 300. This basically means that rather than having all of this grass in the viewport, we've really brought it down. And then when it comes time to render, it will render it out at a much higher density in comparison to the viewport. You can see here with this one, even though I've got this terrain on, I've got this meadow in there, it's still actually in real time. I'm still able to move around. It's not stuttering or anything like that. Let's grab this terrain then. We'll hide this one out of the way, like so. And then we'll come back to this terrain. And what I'm going to do now, you can see meadow here. I'm going to grab this one, and then going to grab this one. I'm going to press Control L. And what I'm going to do is copy modifiers, like so. It's going to take a little bit of time to think about it, but you can see now that it's got 300 in the viewport density. So let's now double tap the A, and you'll see now that all of these flowers and things like that are on there. Not looking too good at the moment, but we're not going to worry about that. The first thing we're going to do is sort out now our weight painting. So all you want to do is just come over to the right hand side, click on this button here. That then will pretty much, yeah, it won't delete that because I clicked on the wrong one. Let's click on this one. Click on this button here. All of this will disappear. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, add in a vertex group. So let's call it something like, let's call it grass actually. So grass, like so. And then what I'm going to do now is going to come back to my little spanner. I'm going to click on this weight paint, and all I'm looking for is the one that says grass. So this one here, like so. And now it's actually time for weight painting. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the weight paint. We're going to come round to this one here. And the moment I draw it on, you can see now we've actually got grass. Now don't draw all over the thing at this point. What you want to do is you want to come back to object mode. And you want to sort out how your grass is going to look now. So you can see at the moment it's not very long. Let's make it a little bit longer. So you'll see on our meadow, we've got scale. So let's put it on 0.6. And now you can see we're actually getting somewhere. Let's turn up the scale of these stems. So these stems that are poking out here, let's turn them up a little bit like so. And that is looking pretty nice. Now all of this is controlled by an angle. So in other words, once this gets to a certain angle, the grass won't grow there, making it incredibly useful for this particular case because the grass won't be growing underneath your islands or anything like that. All right, so let's now go back to weight paint. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come up to here, and you've got these two interlocking links. Just turn them off, and then you can actually draw on your terrain in real time and actually see what you're doing. You don't want to draw on those rivers, so we're not going to draw on those. What we're going to do is just come up to these little edges here, and you can see just how quick this is to do. And you can see just how nice it looks. If you make a mistake, just hold the control button down and you can actually delete those away like so. That's also very handy to know. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw around here. Again, with this meadow pack as well, we also have a jungle pack, so you can have that one as well. And we're also going to bring out a few more packs to do, you know, with foliage and things like that, making it really easy to use. All right, and you can see in the space of a few minutes, I've got a terrain, I've got a river, and I could still actually draw on top of this terrain if I've just brought in another geometry node. Alright everyone, so I hope you enjoyed that. You can see this is a little bit of a game changer. We're bringing out more and more nodes every single month, and we're hoping by the end of the year to have 100 nodes. We have at the moment around 30 nodes, and all of them are set out to be easy to use, especially if you're a beginner, highly versatile, so fitting into many of your own projects, and value for money. That is what we're set out to do, and I think we're actually achieving that now. Alright everyone, so if you like this video, give it a like, and I'll see you on the next one everyone. Thanks a lot, cheers.
Hey everyone, do you want to have access to hundreds of Blender products every single month? Then check out our brand new Patreon, which is probably the best in the industry, especially for beginners to Blender. First of all, we now have 4 Patreon levels, pretty much for any budget. Or if you just want to follow us over there for the latest news on 3D Tudor, then that's also fine. So let's now take a look at these ranks and stay till the end to find out what we really have to offer. So rank 1 is all about just supporting us at €5 per month, and this is just to say a big thanks for everything that we do here. Rank 2 at €10 per month comes with a free course every single month, and if you've seen the scenes that we've been creating here on YouTube, where you can get your hands on any of these for absolutely free, and you will get your name featured at the end credits of all of our YouTube videos. Moving on and stepping it up to rank 3 at €19.50 per month, you get pretty much the same as you did in rank 2, but this time we also give you 2 geometry nodes per month absolutely free. And moving on to the big one, which is rank 4, the top tier that we have at €48.50 per month, and you pretty much get the whole shebang. 2 free courses per month, any of our geometry nodes, any of our model packs, any of our YouTube themes, but best of all, you also get the complete asset manager file, complete with our entire library of compositors, materials, and assets, and this will just keep growing. So whatever your budget, there's never been a better time to support us here at 3D Tudor, and I think we provide one of the best patrons in the industry. So head on over, check out our Patreon, follow us over there for the latest news, and if you can, we'd be very grateful for any support, large or small.